What is up, gamers? Staxwell's back at it again today with another market watch. Whole lot to talk about. The Brute gang has hit the market hard. All the Brute stuff continues to pump, while everything else is kind of staying the same. Like everything else being like the Warrior and the Guardian cards. They're kind of maintaining their initial pumps a little bit. James White did confirm that Everfest Unlimited has been destroyed. So there's a few things affecting the market right now. Let's just go ahead and not waste any more time and jump straight into it. Skullcrack, cheapest copy on the market is $10 now, which is crazy because just a couple of days ago, rainbow foils were selling for $5.50. Berserk, this had a huge spike up to like $13, $14. Then it calmed down to like, you could see in the sales here like $7, $8. 777, and now it's back up to nearly 10 again. Nourishing Emptiness, very good card in the new Kasai, being able to banish all your attack actions and turn this on again and again. This card's also continuously going up. Cheapest copy on the market now is $14.50 after shipping. Cheapest rainbow foil on the market is $13.50. So there is like some distinguishing difference between the rainbow and the non-foil of this card. Beast Within, this card keeps pumping, keeps going up. I feel like we talk about it every week. Cheapest copy on the market is $15. It's weirdly enough, it's a first ed, and then the next cheapest is a rainbow, and then the normal near mint unlimited edition, $18. Yeah, there's only a couple copies up here for like this $15, $16 price point. Then it jumps to an $18 price point. This card getting pretty ridiculous pretty quickly. That all you got. I think this card, like, while it is pumping, while it is going up at the moment, I do think it's like a bit underappreciated. It's a generic defense reaction. Every deck is going to have to consider playing this for like forever, right? And then it's a yellow, it blocks 3, it has like very good specific matchup advantages, right, into something like a ninja or whatever. You can imagine a world in where this is a consideration for years and years to come in every deck because it's a defense reaction, right? So for a card that has all of those things in mind, $9 is like, okay, I guess that's a reasonable price. But then if you go down to the foils, cheapest rainbow foil on the market is $11, right? Like, why would you not have a play set of rainbows of this card if you know you're going to be considering it in every deck for years to come? Kind of mind-blowing, I think. Starstruck, this card has just gone straight down. I think it's just because everyone is hyped to play the new Guardians, whether it be Victor or Betsy. I think Betsy isn't quite getting the respect she deserves. People are saying like she's just worse Bravo. And I do think that's probably true. She probably is a worse Bravo. But I think that there's a lot of things that Betsy can do better than Bravo. And we'll actually kind of get into that a little bit later in the market watch. Regardless of that, Starstruck is on the decline. Cheapest copy on the market is only $12.50. Well, it's crazy because, just a couple weeks ago, I did a market watch on this, and it was $26. Scowling Fleshbag, another one. We talk about it all the time. Brutes are just pumping this market. Cheapest rainbow foil on the market is $50. Cheapest cold foil on the market, which I think is a bit more interesting, is $86. This card just keeps going up. It's so crazy. Just crazy with Scowling Fleshbag. I don't have too much to say on it. I mean, it makes sense. It's a necessary Brute headpiece. It's going to be the headpiece of choice for every Brute moving forward forever, right? Until they power creep this card. So the price tag is totally warranted. I just like to see these new legendaries holding a little bit of value. Blood on Our Hands, cheapest copy on the market is $10. This card's going up a little bit as well. People coming to terms with they're going to have to actually play the new heroes at some point, maybe. So that's why they're going ahead and grabbing all of these cards now. If you guys remember, this card pumped like super hard originally. It was like, look at the graph here. It says it was like $18, $19. Then it fell back down to like $6, $7 for the longest time. Now it's back up to 10, so very cool. Grandeur of Valahai, cheapest copy on the market is $130. For those who don't know, this card has been finding its way into Bravo deck lists. If you haven't checked out my coverage of the top 8 AGE deck lists, go ahead and do that because they are all playing Grandeur of Valahai. Not all of them, but quite a few of the Bravos in top 8 were playing Grandeur of Valahai. And I think this makes sense to take advantage of those 4-cost cards, right? If you're playing like a Hamilton-esque style, you don't need to rely so heavily on that tunic counter to take advantage of Grandeur of Valahai. A few copies have moved since that AGE video dropped. I think that could have something to do with it. So cheapest copy on the market is $131. I think it's a good investment as well. We know that old Bravo likes Grandeur of Valahai. It's yet to be seen if like Betsy or Victor is going to want to play this card. I imagine if they take like a similar value kind of route, they will. I don't think Victor will because he's going to be wanting to play clashes, but there's definitely a world in which Betsy's going to want to play this card. Dreadbore, this was the weapon of choice for the highest performing Riptide deck at the AGE. Dreadbore, this was the weapon of choice for Riptide. A lot of the... Yeah, I mean, you don't really get to see the Riptide list because they're not, like, topping at this exact moment. Maybe with a little bit more support, they will be. Dreadbore seems to be, like, the bow of choice, the go-to weapon that he's playing. And, again, we know Everfest, it's just going to be this first edition printing. There's a limited supply of these. If you don't at least have a Dreadbore, pick one up. It's only 30 cents. But what I'm more interested in talking about is the cold foil Dreadbore, of which is only $6.50. Like, it's really not expensive either way. And if... Riptide, it's not even an if, when Riptide becomes a meta contender, which of course at some point he will, because at some point he will have to LL, right? If he winds up playing Dreadbore, which again most of the lists currently are, it just seems like a good investment for only $6. A cold foil majestic. Look at some of the other cold foil majestics in the game, Mask of Perdition, things like that. We know the ceiling of where cold foil majestics could be. Definitely a lot of room to go up on Dreadbore. Leave no witnesses. We talked about how like the rainbow foils disappeared last week. I just wanted to kind of update everyone and show that they came back, but they are holding strong at $17. There's plenty of listings up here at that price point. Yeah, so people must be getting excited about probably, I would imagine, the new Arachne cards coming in heavy hitters, building that stuff out. Surgical Extraction, on the other hand, seems like it's going down a lot. Cheapest copy on the market is down to $12. This is as cheap as we've seen it in quite some time, so I just wanted to bring everyone's attention to that. Dietic Carapace. This is, I think it's an underrated card. Not underrated, undervalued card. Like, everyone knows the card's good. We just don't have a in-format Runeblade that wants to play it, right? So we have Vincent, but she like tends to lean more towards Husk. Dietic Carapace is Scowling Fleshbag before Brute support. You know what I mean? Like, as soon as the nanosecond we get a new Runeblade, Dietic Carapace, the rainbow foil price will reflect like the rainbow foil price of that of a Scowling Fleshbag, right? There's just no better Runeblade chest. The only reason it's not more expensive now is because, one, like, Viscerai is just terrible. No one's playing Viscerai, so why would they buy a legendary chest piece for a hero they're not playing? And then yeah, we've talked about it. Vincent is a shadow hero, so obviously she's going to play the Carrion Husk. So there's no reason to buy this card at the moment, unfortunately. I guess for Blitz, but yeah, this one's definitely going to go up. If you don't have a copy, definitely grab that before a new Runeblade gets announced. Hyperdriver, this is the cold foil promo token Hyperdriver. I don't remember who sold it. I think it was like Team Covenant or something. Cheapest copy on the market is $125. I even like try to check eBay and stuff. You guys know I have a max deck, so I was trying to kind of bling it out a little bit, and I just cannot find one. I'm refusing to pay $125 for it. The reason I want to bring this up and talk about it, though, is like, look at the bundles that things like Team Covenant, Star City Games, things like that these bundles that have promos, TCG Player, and realize like this is where those promos could land. This is where those tokens can land. So yeah, take all this into consideration when you're thinking of buying those bundles. These promos always just go crazy like this. Not always, but a lot of times they go crazy like this. $125 for a Hyperdriver token? Like, no one even plays Max, bro. Why is this so expensive? Just that scarcity, I guess. Anyway, yeah, so just think about this. If you're buying your cases, definitely consider getting them with a promo card. I don't see why you wouldn't. Microprocessor. If you guys haven't seen, James White did a interview with Fluke in Box. Shout out Fluke. And they talked about like how Dash.io was originally going to be the adult data doll, and it didn't wind up coming to fruition because Microprocessor is just too broken of a card. Will that always be the case? Maybe there will be a slight power creep in this game at some point, and then they'll reevaluate and think like, data doll is ready for this. If that's possible, you'll definitely want your microprocessors. But more importantly, a more immediate issue is if it's too broken for CC, then chances are it's probably pretty broken in Blitz as well, right? Things like Chain that are too broken in CC, Oldham, Icelander, all these things are too broken in CC, and they get LL'd in Blitz as well, right? They're also broken in there. So I think microprocessor isn't a lot different. Yeah, clearly it's like the longer the game goes on, the more value you get from this. So surely it's better in CC than it is in Blitz, but that's not to say like it's bad in Blitz. I'm sure it's still very, very good in there as well. Last thing I want to talk about is the extended art Wrecker Romps. Cheapest rainbow foils on the car. Cheapest rainbow foil copies on the market now are down to $30, down from like $55.50 just like less than a month ago. I think this is because the one of the promos in one of those bundles I was just talking about, it might be Team Covenant or something, it is a blue Wrecker Romp as well. So yeah, that kind of sucks when a card gets reprinted in an alternate art like that, especially one like this where you're just like speccing on the higher rarity. Yeah, so I think both will still be desirable to some extent. You know, OG players are still going to like the OG original artwork, the original high chase variant of the card, but definitely the alternate art is going to warrant a downshift in the price here. So yeah, that's fallen a lot. If you've been considering or wanting to pick one up, just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. And that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, rate, subscribe, help the algorithm help me out just a little bit. Later, gamers.